Hi, everyone, and welcome to Dose of Social, your recipe for social media success. I'm Lindsay Mauk.
I'm Kayla Pearlstein.
And this is
Dose of Social.
I like to dance. All right, today's episode is a duo, a Lindsay-Kayla duo.
The best duo.
The most awesome duo. Yay! And today we're going to talk about a topic that's very close to our hearts. And this topic is something that comes up quite frequently in both of our businesses and our, I would say, regular interactions with folks in the industry and potential clients. Mm-hmm. And so today's topic is digital marketing versus social media. The reason we're talking about this today is there are differences between digital marketing and social media and what is covered under social media versus what is covered under digital marketing. So to kick this off, I would love to have Kayla get started on this topic that I know is very dear to your heart. So yes, Kayla, if you could.
I'm very passionate about this topic and excited to talk about it. So as I've mentioned previously, I'm the founder of Golden Bird Marketing. We are an organic social media marketing company. We specialize in brand awareness and community building for small businesses. A lot of times we have clients come to us and they want all of the things that we do, but they also want paid advertising. They want email marketing. They want SEO help, website help. And your social media manager does not do those things for the most part. Again, you might have a unicorn if they do all of the above. So we have approved partners that we work with. We've worked with Lindsay before. We have approved partners for websites, for ads. So for small businesses that are looking for a social media manager, you need to be very clear on what a social media manager does and what a digital marketer does.
So Kayla, what does a social media manager do? Because social media management in and of itself encompasses a lot of different skill sets.
It does.
But if you could elaborate a bit more to our audience about what a social media manager specifically does for a brand or a business.
Well, it's kind of in the word itself. They manage your social media. What? So,
okay.
Your social media manager is, helping to schedule your posts. They're posting your posts. They're making sure they're going up. You might have a community manager that's handling the comments and messages and engagement. Your social media manager can also do those things. Your social media manager can also help create content and build your content calendar. That does not mean that your social media manager is a graphic designer or a copywriter or a strategist or an analytics specialist, but a lot of them can do those things on a very basic level.
Yeah, absolutely. So a social media manager at its core is someone who creates content for your various social media platforms, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, LinkedIn,
YouTube, Pinterest,
etc. And then they're posting it. They're creating a calendar and they're posting your content on behalf of your business. They're writing the captions, they're selecting the hashtags, and they're posting that content. So Kayla, you mentioned that a social media manager is not a graphic designer. So you specialize in organic social media marketing. So when you're working with your businesses and your brands, how do you get those photos or graphic designs if that's not necessarily something that falls under the realm of a social media manager?
So with a lot of our clients, we will ask them for content up front. So any photos and videos that they have, we ask for that so we can have it on our end. Depending on the client and the type of work they're looking for, we do have a graphic designer on our team that we bring on. But for the most part, our social media managers have a basic knowledge of content creation, and they can use tools like Canva that are very easy to use and easy tutorials. And so we can create content to that effect. But for specific clients that are looking for a graphic designer, we bring a graphic designer on.
Yeah, and I would say if you're a business or brand too that has a graphic designer on staff or has access to a graphic designer, that's something where you would have the graphic designer create those particular assets, that content, and provide it to you as the social media manager. And like Kayla said, if you need graphic design resources, then of course those graphic design resources can be made available to you, but that is something separate.
And I think the point I was trying to make is Canva is a tool that's very easy for anyone to learn, and any social media manager should be able to use it, but your social media manager might not necessarily know how to use Photoshop or InDesign. That's where you would need a graphic designer.
Yeah, I would say at the most basic level, your social media manager for your business should be able to handle basic graphic design.
Yeah.
Using Canva or some other platform. But anything more elaborate, you do need to make sure you bring in a creative director or a graphic designer for. And how about for photos, Kayla?
So again, we'll ask our clients for any content that they have. We can edit those on our end with basic tools. Also, for some clients that have specific products, we'll have them send it to us. We make it very clear that we are not photographers, we're not video producers, but we can create content on our iPhone on a really simple DSLR camera. It's easy to do that with the technology that we have today.
Yeah, and I would say if you are a brand or a business that does not have photography, before you engage with a social media management service, you might want to collaborate with that company and get a photo shoot done, getting product-specific photos, but making sure that you have the assets that you need, because the vehicle to your social media marketing is going to be your content, your photos, your videos, your graphic design. So making sure that you have a steady flow of content and not relying on your social media manager to create all of that for you.
Yeah, and professional content is great and it's needed, but so is content that you're taking on your phone that looks like UGC content and it's not perfected and it looks real, and people don't want to see perfect all the time. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I would say also when it comes to content for social media, your social media manager will be able to direct you as to how to get that content. So, for example, we have a lot of clients that attend trade shows all over the world, and we can't be on site with them at all these trade shows. I mean, I would love to travel the world and just go cover trade shows for our clients, but that's not the case. But we give them their own little mini shot list of, hey, when you're there, this is like what we would like for you to film on your phone. And we make it super simple. It doesn't take that long. And it's something that they can do quickly, even when they're just walking from their booth to the bathroom and getting that content. But then they send it to us and we're able to utilize that and put it into a reel or a short clip or a series of photos that then we can post to social media. So your social media manager can give you that content direction too.
Yeah, and we send shot lists to our clients as well. We have a client who is local in Nashville, and the owner actually attends a lot of the pop-ups and does a lot of the selling. And so I'm constantly texting her a shot list of the different content I need so we can promote their upcoming pop-up.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah. So in short, I would say social media managers, they're writing, creating content. They're doing some copywriting, some light graphic design work, some light photography, video editing skills, I would say are always a plus in today's world as a social media manager.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that you would add to that?
I mean, very basic reporting too, which...
Yeah, data and analytics, understanding specific metrics and how they impact your client's business is important too, for sure.
Yeah, knowing kind of what's working and what's not working on their social media so you can improve their strategy moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Lindsay, can you tell me more about digital marketing?
Oh, yes. All right. So, I guess the first question is social media digital marketing?
I think it's a piece of digital marketing.
Yeah. So social media marketing is under the umbrella of digital marketing. So I'm going to use my hands here because we are filming. So when you think of your ecosystem of digital marketing and all your different marketing channels, social media is one of your marketing channels, just like email is a marketing channel. PR can be a function of marketing. Some people think it's kind of separate, but in a lot of companies, it is a function of marketing. A lot of times creative is under digital marketing umbrella. And then you've got things like your performance and your growth marketing, which is your paid media and your ad spend. So looking at that. And then sometimes your website and website falls under digital marketing as well. And then SEO, which is search engine optimization, that is also a function of marketing. And social media, like Kayla said, also fits under that umbrella. So digital marketing is more general. It's a general, I always say it's your toolkit. Digital marketing is your toolkit, and all these different channels are all the tricks that you have in your digital marketing toolkit. So at my company, LTM Digital, we are a digital marketing agency. So we focus on specific pieces of those digital marketing channels. So we focus primarily on paid media, so performance and growth marketing, email marketing, and organic social media marketing management, and content creation falls under that as well. So digital marketing is a larger umbrella. So a lot of times someone might think, oh, well, I'm running this ad and there's a comment on it and I need my social media person to respond. Well, yes, but your organic social media is run by a different team usually. They might not even know what ads are running on the acquisition or the paid media side. So it's also good to have a conversation if you are a company that is running paid media, for example, on Meta in particular, or TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Making sure that you have a way to coordinate with your organic social media team. So you can say, hey, these ads are running. If you see specific comments, can you please respond? Can you please give us feedback? I see a lot of teams where the organic team and the paid social media team are on islands and they don't talk to each other and they have no idea what the other is doing. And it's so weird to me because in my business, we are all about the holistic approach to marketing, and organic and paid are very synonymous. Like you've got the same team overseeing both. And a lot of times we use organic marketing, organic social media to test what we want to use in paid. So we'll test something, and if it performs really well in organic, we'll say, hey, let's start running an ad for that. Let's see if it converts on the paid side. So, or if we see something work on the paid side, we'll say, hey, let's create more of this particular type of content. So utilizing that data and those learnings to benefit your business overall. And another thing that I think is different with digital marketing is there's different goals. So social media marketing, I would say primarily on the organic side, and Kayla jump in here too, but for my clients that I work with, it's usually brand awareness. So it's all about brand awareness and building community, building a loyal, engaged following, interacting with your fans and having a conversation. And in today's world, brands are their own media platforms. So this is their opportunity to interact with their audience. But it's not necessarily the primary driver for sales. So on organic, you're really just looking to continue to build that brand awareness and build that community. But on the paid side, you're under a much different regimen. And on the paid side, you're under different metrics and you're being watched for specific things. For example, if I spend X on my business, I want to make Y in return. And you're able to show that on the ad side. So for every dollar you spend, you make $4 and you're gravy and you're super happy. Whereas on the organic side, it's what you pay as a retainer for your social media manager and maybe any content shoots or assets that you develop.
And I think that's also a little bit of a misconception that I've seen is people think organic social media management should lead to sales or leads or website clicks. And because they put link in bio in their caption that people should buy, or because they have 250,000 followers, then they should be making more sales.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's just not the way it works in social media in 2024. So, whatever year you're listening to this podcast, it's just not the way it is anymore. So, organic reach is limited. I mean, if you have 250,000 followers, that's great, but only a sliver of that audience is ever going to see your content. A very small percentage is ever going to see it organically. And you really do have to promote it on the paid side to really get any sort of movement. So I think that is important to not hold your social media manager accountable to sales specifically as a direct goal. I think as an indirect goal, obviously, yes, we all want sales and we all want revenue and our top line revenue to grow and our business to grow, but that's not necessarily the case with social media. It's about brand awareness, and I think it's also really important to be very clear.
Oh, we're very clear.
Yeah. And I know that you're very clear with that, Kayla, but I also think for those of you who are listening who may hire a social media manager, whether that's a freelancer or a small business or an agency, to be very clear about your goals, because if someone tells you that they're going to sell X number of products just through organic with no ad spend, I'm sorry, that person is full of shit.
Now, I have a question for you.
Maybe we don't want to use that.
I think we should. So let's say a potential client calls and their budget is very limited. Their organic social media looks like a mess, and they don't want to put
Hot mess.
a hot mess
Hot
express.
mess.
They don't want to put any spend towards organic. They just want to focus on ads. What is your thought on that strategy?
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense, but the first thing I would say to them is, okay, yes, we can take a majority of your budget and we'll put it towards paid, but you got to clean up the feed. You got to have it looking nice. You got to have something there that gives the user a little bit more, because what is the first thing that you do, Kayla, when you see an ad on Instagram?
I go to social first.
You go to their profile, right?
Yep.
So if I see an ad, and I'll just share, I saw an ad for some under eye cream because that's the era of life I'm in right now. And I was like, wow, this looks really good. And so I click on it, and then I see this profile with 48,000 followers and a lot of great reviews and really good content. That's validating for me as a consumer. I know that they have built a following and they're a reputable company, and I always look at verified reviews too. If I look on their website to see what people are saying about these products, and I know that a lot of people bait comments and they get people to say certain things and whatnot, but it is something that I look at. I look at their comments, I look at just the overall sentiment, the vibe. If I click on an ad and I see a profile that has 7 photos and they all look like junk,
And they have 100,000 followers.
and they have 100,000 followers and 20 likes, I'm not going to buy that product. I'm not going to trust that particular product. So it is your front door in a lot of ways. It's your second front door. I mean, I would say arguably people go to your social media platforms more than they go to your website.
Yeah, and that was the point I was making when you just asked, is when I hear about a brand or a company, I immediately go to Instagram and I look at, when was the last time they posted? I think a good example is I watch Shark Tank regularly. A lot of them are old episodes. And so I'll see these great companies, whether they got a deal or not, and I go look at them on Instagram, and they say in their bio they've been featured on Shark Tank, but they haven't posted for 4 months.
Yeah, and one thing I also tell brands, a lot of times companies come to me and they say, well, we don't have time to post on social. Social doesn't drive sales, so we don't focus on it. And that's also something that's a problem, because you really do have to understand, like, yeah, it's not the primary driver of sales, but you got to do it. Like, you got to do it. It's like eating your vegetables. You just have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like vegetables, but I like social media too.
Okay, so Lindsay, for small businesses out there or social media managers or new digital marketers, can you let us know more about an average ad spend? Because I've worked with people, or I've heard from people that are afraid to work with ads because they've spent $100 before, they wasted their money, it didn't do anything. What would you say to that?
Well, I would say budgeting $100 for an ad spend is probably only going to get you brand awareness. That's not necessarily going to generate any sales for your business. That's a pretty minimal budget for an ad spend. So anyone that I talk to that is spending a minimal ad spend per day, I always recommend for them to focus on brand awareness as their goal, because they're not going to get the conversion goals that they want on such little spend, just because there's not enough money that they're spending to essentially give the algorithm enough information to identify their audience or get any sort of actionable or insightful data. And I have seen companies come and say, well, I only have $10 a day to spend on ads, or I only have $25 a day to spend on ads. And I say, great, we can run these ads, but I'm just telling you that it's more of a brand awareness than it is driving sales.
So if they have $10 to spend a day or $25 to spend a day, what is the minimum amount of days you would tell them to do that for brand awareness?
I mean, they could do it for as long as they want, really, but in general, I usually recommend running a campaign for at least 7 days. And we can talk more about this in ads on another episode, because I think this is definitely an important one.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. So Kayla, let's talk about social media managers. What is the most common misconception that you get in your business as a social media manager?
The most common misconception, besides thinking that social media management will bring them immediate leads and sales, is that people are looking for a social media manager that is a content creator, a website designer, an email marketer, an SEO specialist, a graphic designer, and their budget is $850 a month.
And they're looking for a unicorn.
Yes. A social media manager has to adapt to a couple of different roles. So they do create content. I wouldn't say a lot of them are on the level of a graphic designer, but they know how to create content, whether it's photo or video content. They can write captions. They can help with your social media strategy. They can help with your analytics at the end of the month. And they handle your scheduling, your posting, your engaging.
Copywriting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are the main roles of a social media manager.
Yeah, but your social media manager is not necessarily skilled in Shopify or WordPress or Klaviyo, Photoshop, all of those things. And I think that is a really good point too, Kayla, is I think sometimes people think that social media managers really can do it all because their job touches a lot of different areas. But the reality is they're working with other folks. So, usually on the social media management side in our business, all the assets are provided by the brand. So the brand's giving us photos and videos from their photo shoots. Mm-hmm. And we usually have a say in that, and we help provide direction for those shoots, but they're going out and getting the content or hiring us to do a separate shoot for them. So the content is provided to us, and then we're taking that content and resizing it and speccing it out to the different formats and the different platforms, because every platform has a different spec size, and resizing it and making sure it looks good on all the different platforms is a time-consuming role as well. So to recap this episode, we are talking about the difference between digital marketing and social media management. And social media management is a channel under an overall digital marketing umbrella. So do not expect your social media manager to do all things digital marketing for you. If you are looking for that type of role, then hire a digital marketer, a more generalized marketer who has those specific skills in email and copywriting and web development and graphic design.
And paid ads.
And guess what? No one person does that all either. There's usually specialized marketers where you've got your graphic designers, or you've got people who specialize in paid acquisition or specialize in data analytics, or you've got more general marketers like myself, someone who is a self-proclaimed Swiss Army knife who can do a number of different things for a brand, but it's hard to find one person who can do it all. So please understand this. This is Lindsay Mauk.
This is Kayla Pearlstein.
Thanks for listening to Dose of Social.
Thank you.